Hey guys, welcome back to Grit and Grace. I am Ashley and I am going to do a trigger warning on today's video because it's not going to be easy, and it will definitely be a two-part video because I will not have enough time to get through everything I want to cover in one video. So I will post it back to back so that there's not having, to wait a day or two for the second video to come out. But I am going to be talking about grief. I hemmed and hawed on this one because I know with, the holidays, I think so many people struggle with the holidays because of grief and because there's so much going on with that. And it's, for so many people, it is a joyous time. And for so many people, it's absolutely the direct opposite. It is literal hell on earth trying to get through this time, especially Christmas. Like I talked about in my video the other night, it's not easy. So this first video is going to focus on what the 5 stages of grief are and what they look like. And then the second video will focus more on why people struggle with it so much and some tips and maybe some help to get you through what the grieving process is might be looking like for you. I do want to say that this video, I'm trying to make it as inclusive as possible. So it is going to also apply to people who are maybe going through a divorce, or they're going through a major breakup, whether that's with a significant other or that is with a family member or somebody. Anytime that somebody leaves our lives on such an intense level, again, whether it's death, divorce, breakups, something, we're grieving the loss of that person, and it's never easy, but it will look a lot the same. Just different stages of severity of grief is what it can really come down to. So with that being said, get, comfortable, maybe grab a coffee or a tea or a snack or something and settle in with me for the next few minutes while we cover this topic, which, like I said, it's not easy. So the first stage that we're looking at is the stage of denial. And where this stage is it really looks like somebody being kind of in autopilot mode at that point in their life. We're not wrapping our mind at all around the fact that this person is gone. They're not coming back. And so we are just kind of shut down in that period of the grieving process. It's just, life doesn't make sense anymore. We don't even know how to wrap our mind around the fact that this person is no longer with us and they're not coming back. And we're not wanting to accept it. We're not able to accept it. Some of us are not willing to accept it at that point. It makes it too real. And at this point, we're really kind of questioning almost how are we going to go on with life. And that becomes too much to deal with. It becomes too much to bear. So we don't. We just stay in that, nope, it's buried. I'm keeping it so far out of my reality at this point that it's not even a blip on the radar. And we'll stay in that denial stage for as long as we need to until we are finally, wrapping our mind around it a little bit more. And then in comes anger. And so that anger stage is where we are really angry at everyone, everything. We might be lashing out at different people. We may be angry with God. We can be angry with the person who passed away. We can be angry with the person who left. We can be angry with doctors who we feel maybe didn't do what they should have done to save our family member or a loved one, whoever that was. And that anger has no bounds. It has no limits. It is all out, just seething anger for most people who experience that. And so that anger might be what keeps us going though in the moment, because anger for a lot of people is an easier emotion to deal with than pain, the emotional pain. And so for a while, that anger may be all that keeps you going for that period of time as you are working to really accept the fact that, this person is gone and they are not coming back. And so that in of itself can create a lot of problems within itself, especially when we're angry at the person who passed away. That sometimes causes guilt later on for some people because they feel like I shouldn't be mad at that person. But at that point, there's so many emotions, there's so many thoughts, so many realities that are swirling around and hitting us exactly in the face that it's hard to make it make sense of everything that we're going through and everything that we're feeling at that point in time. So if you have dealt with or you are dealing with the anger part, please know that that is a completely normal response to the grieving process and losing somebody. The next stage we go through is bargaining. And so that is making whatever bargain that we need to bring this person back, to make it make sense to ourselves. A lot of times we'll bargain with God, and we'll bargain with him that I will change, I will do anything if you bring this person back, or you know, we're going through maybe the grieving process or starting the grieving process maybe while somebody is still alive, but we know that they don't have that much time left. Then we're in that bargaining. God, I will do anything, I will give anything within my infinite or, you know, whatever amount of power to do it. Spare them, keep them here, bring them back, do whatever it is that you need to do. But please, God, don't let me have to go through life experiencing the rest of my time without this person. And in that bargaining stage, it's just hard because there's nothing that we're not willing to give if it means that that person will come back, stick around, you know, whatever we need to do. And that bargaining is just us trying to keep that reality from really setting in, that this is going to be a new way of life for us at this point in time or pretty soon, depending on the situation. Depression is the next stage, and this depression stage is probably, I would imagine, one of the hardest, ugliest, deepest things that somebody can go through. And sometimes people don't feel that the depression stage is normal. It is 1,000% normal. I mean, when you look at the fact that you are now, you know, you've lost somebody and they are not coming back, depression, to not feel that depression would not be normal. It would feel unusual to go through that. And that depression stage is where, like I said, we're not getting out of bed. We are not showering. We are not maybe eating, taking care of ourselves. We are just so gone at that point in life. And that depression stage, you know, that's where you can really go through it in any of the stages, but the depression stage is very well known, where people are contemplating suicide. Some people go through with suicide attempts because they cannot deal with this newfound reality that this is what's happening. And that depression stage, for a lot of people, it sticks around for a while, and they're kind of stuck in that stage of the grieving process. And the depression, like I said, it's real. It will take you down to depths that you never thought were possible to go to, but here you are. And then the final stage that we eventually come to is going to be acceptance. And this is not acceptance that looks like one day we wake up and we are just healed and we're fine and we have completely accepted the fact that this person is no longer going to be in our world. It's acceptance of moving into acceptance, that this is the new reality, this is what we're going through, and we have to accept the fact that our life and our world is going to look much different moving forward. And it's, like I said, it's not coming to that place of like, oh, okay, you know, the sun comes out in our world and the birds start singing and everything is good. It's just starting to feel, I want to say okay, but it's starting to accept the fact that we're going to have to look for what we can in the positive and what we want our lives to be moving forward, as much as that's even possible at that point in the game. But we're starting to get there. So that is the part one. Hang on just a minute for part two, guys.